So Stranger Things Season 5 is being released soon, and after almost 10 years, we are finally getting the finale to Stranger Things. If you couldn't tell from my previous content, I am a huge Stranger Things fan, and I am extremely excited for the series finale. So in celebration, I figured we should discuss one of Eleven's most popular matchups against another telekinetic teen with anger issues, Andrew Detmer from Chronicle. There's plenty of debate online on who would win between these two and who's the better telekinetic, and today we're going to take an in-depth look into each character's scaling and abilities to see which telekinetic is truly the apex predator. Before we get started, I want to specify there will not be any spoilers for Season 5 of Stranger Things. No feats from Season 5 will be included, so if you haven't watched it yet, don't worry, we will not be going over it. We already have an entire video going extremely in-depth on Eleven's abilities and scaling, so if you want a more in-depth analysis of her powers, make sure to go watch that video. This video will just be a brief recap of what we discussed in that matchup. Eleven's own physical striking strength isn't that impressive, not being anything more than a normal teenage girl, but the same can't be said about her telekinesis. Even early into the series, she could casually launch vans into the air without any issue, which would require bare minimum 90 kilojoules of energy, which is wall level. She can also effortlessly kill demodogs and even overpowered demogorgons, whose scale to 1.8 megajoules due to knocking a reinforced steel door off of its hinges. Eleven's durability would also be in the same boat, as she can withstand casual throws from other telekinetics, whose telekinesis should be comparable to her own. However, post-Nina project, Eleven grows in strength drastically, being able to match Vecna in a fight. Vecna, when he was significantly weaker, was able to move the Mind Flayer. Given the Mind Flayer's cannon size and how fast he moved it, Henry would have needed to generate energy equivalent to 5.28 tons of TNT. In power scaling terms, this would throw him into large building level, meaning that his telekinesis has equivalent energy to an impact that could destroy a large building. Eleven kept up with Vecna, who had gotten stronger due to his mutations and through absorbing Eleven's powers, meaning she upscales this drastically. In terms of lifting strength, Elle easily threw a 2.5 ton van like it was nothing. She also lifted up a 10,000 pound tub without issue and even threw around large helicopters, which can weigh over 6 tons. For speed, she can fight with demodogs, who are likely comparable to actual dogs, and are able to blitz groups of people with no issue. Elle herself has also attacked a group of people before they could react, and battled with Vecna. Elle's main power is of course her telekinesis, which allows her to interact with objects without physically touching them. She can use this to throw people around, choke them out, launch projectiles, or even make herself float. Her telekinesis isn't just limited to grabbing people though. Elle's telekinesis can interact with your organs, allowing her to crush them with her mind and instantly kill you. The strength of her telekinesis can also be improved through her rage. By harnessing her emotions, Elle can increase her power drastically, allowing her to easily overpower those that were previously stomping her. Elle can also open portals to the Upside Down, an alternate reality similar to our own, but controlled by the Mind Flayer. Using her portals, Elle can throw people into the Upside Down and keep them trapped there. Jane has also displayed the ability to manipulate magnets, disrupt technology, and even see into people's memories. And through deprivation of her senses, she can track nearly anyone she wants and even enter their mindscape, though she can only do this with proper time to prepare. Elle, despite being only 14, has shown excellent battle prowess, defeating many of the adversaries from the Upside Down that her group has faced, killing off demogorgons, demodogs, the Mind Flayer, the Flayed, monsters made of human flesh, and even Vecna himself, twice. Really, Elle's only weakness is that she doesn't have the best common sense in the world, and her powers can tire her out with extended usage. Andrew Detmer was a socially awkward and isolated high school student, frequently bullied at school and living in an abusive household, with an alcoholic father who regularly assaulted him and a mother dying of cancer. To cope, Andrew began documenting his life through a handheld camera, rarely interacting with others outside of his two friends. Until one day, the three of them would discover a mysterious crystal in a cave, which gave them the extraordinary powers of telekinesis. Originally using these powers for fun or to prank others, Andrew would start rapidly gaining strength and would now believe himself to be a superior being to humans, and would eventually take a turn for the worse. Similarly to Elle, Andrew isn't anything special physically, just being as strong and durable as a normal unathletic teenage boy. But with his powers, he can access crazy amounts of strength, such as when he crushed a car with zero effort, a feat which would require bare minimum 1.2 megajoules of energy and 144 tons of force to perform, and he did this with practically no effort. He was also able to hit Matt with a bus, which calculations of this feat getting it to about 14 megajoules of energy, which is high wall level. This is fairly consistent, as at the peak of his power, Andrew was able to launch multiple cop cars with a shockwave, smash through the floors and walls of apartment buildings, and shake an area so hard that the windows on nearby buildings shattered. Probably his most impressive calculatable feat though was him smashing Matt through a large steel billboard. Assuming an average height of 14 feet for the billboard and a thickness of 5 centimeters, he would have needed to generate energy equivalent to 12.4 kilograms of TNT going off, which is small building level. And unlike 11, his durability would scale to this as well. Andrew uses his telekinesis not just to lift things up, but to also protect him. Andrew is able to use his telekinesis to create a force field around his skin, allowing him to survive strikes from other telekinetics just as strong as him. However, this ability needs to be consciously activated, and underneath he's still only a normal person. For speed, Andrew should be comparable, if not superior to Matt, due to training his abilities much more. Matt was able to fly from Seattle, Washington to Tibet, China in a single night, which would require him to be moving at minimum 333 meters per second, or just shy of the speed of sound. But this is just their flight speed. Andrew was also able to fight with Matt, who could block gunfire from a Glock pistol, with calculations of this feat finding that he'd have to move at 1.5 times the speed of sound in order to block it, and which puts Matt, and thus Andrew, at supersonic reaction and combat speeds. As discussed earlier, Andrew can use his telekinesis for a variety of purposes, such as lifting things up, making himself fly, creating force fields to absorb incoming damage, creating large shockwaves, amplifying his own punching strength to the strength of his telekinesis, shaping clouds, and even using the lightning bolts from the clouds to attack people. Andrew can also target extremely specific parts of people using his telekinesis, such as when he ripped out Wayne's teeth, suggesting that he can also target the internal organs of his opponents. For weaknesses, as stated earlier, without his telekinetic abilities, or when he isn't actively triggering his force fields, he's just a normal, relatively unimpressive kid that isn't too intelligent. Come on! Bro, you are controlling the money. Why are you yelling at it to go faster? And has displayed himself to be pretty emotionally vulnerable. He also hasn't shown too much impressive combat skill, even struggling to be a decent criminal despite his extraordinary powers. So who wins between the two? When it comes to sheer telekinetic power, you'll notice that each of them have a huge advantage in different categories. When it comes to straight attack potency, Elle dwarfs Andrew by a wide margin. If Elle got off even a single good hit with her telekinesis, it wouldn't matter if Andrew used his force fields or not, as Elle would break through it and instantly kill him. On the other hand though, Andrew has a similar advantage with his lifting strength, meaning that if both of them get into a pushing competition or whatever, Andrew is handedly stomping her. In a battle involving telekinesis though, Andrew's advantages are going to play much more of a role. If he got a good hold on 11, there would be nothing she could do even if she went full rage mode. But Elle's not completely cooked here, as she has way more variety with her powers. She can crush his organs, throw him into the upside down, tap into his memories and mess with his mind. She has plenty of good options to win here that Andrew simply couldn't counter. If Elle managed to throw him into the upside down, there is absolutely nothing Andrew could do to get out. But the same can be said for Andrew though. Not only can he also target internal organs much like Elle, but he has significantly better maneuverability with this fight. Force fields to block incoming damage, weather control, and the ability to rapidly grow stronger as the fight progresses. He could also very quickly kill Elle just by using his own telekinesis. His attack potency is significantly higher than Elle's durability, so if he can get in a good shockwave or a good amped punch in, he's ending the fight with a single strike. So both of these guys have their own advantages, with Elle having far stronger attack potency and a more vast moveset, while Andrew has significantly better lifting strength and mobility. But given how quickly each of them could take the other down, this is mostly going to become a competition of speed, in which case, Andrew takes the cake. Elle is decently fast, and a lot faster than a normal person, but she isn't competing with Andrew's bullet timing capabilities or his ability to fly at sonic speeds. Andrew would be able to perceive Elle almost in slow motion, and would be nearly impossible for her to hit, since he'd be moving too fast for her to even keep her eyes on. He'd almost appear invisible with how fast he'd be moving. Essentially, the debate just comes down to this. Both of them have ways to end the fight as soon as it starts. Thing is, Andrew's going to be able to use those faster than Elle could. Both of them have the ability to one-shot the other with their powers, or use powers that ignore the other's durability. But Andrew can trigger these abilities fast enough to react to bullets, whereas Elle has had trouble reacting to normal people. In a speed-equalized situation, this match could go either way, as it really just depends on what each of them open with, and if you think attack potency or lifting strength is more useful in a match like this. But in a standard matchup where statistics aren't equal, Andrew's just going to get his moves off a lot faster. It's likely that he's going to close the distance and slam into Elle at full speed and just reduce her to gore, or just crush her to death before she can really do anything. If for some reason Andrew doesn't open with an instant kill move, I could see Elle quickly realizing that she's well outclassed here, and just crushes his brain or heart, which would give her the win. But given how aggressive Andrew is by the end of the film, and how easy it would be for him to kill her, he's likely not gonna give her that leeway. A much more fair match for Andrew would probably be someone like Brightburn, given how he's comparable in speed. But in this match, I doubt he's gonna struggle too much. Maybe in Season 5, Vecna will dodge a laser attack or something and Elle will 1v1 him, but until we see that, Jane just gets speed blitzed and one-shotted, and only wins if Andrew fights like an idiot, which honestly might not be too insane, which is what stops this from being a stomp. However, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this matchup, and if you think Elle might actually stand a chance. If you do, make sure to leave it in the comments. Make sure to comment other matchups you want to see me do. I do read your guys' comments, and I do plan on making a lot of these videos that you guys have suggested. It's just gonna take me a little bit since life's been busy recently. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you're interested in power scaling content like this, and I will see you all in the next video.